Ain't She Tweet is a 1952 Warner Brothers cartoon directed by Freleng, with a story by Warren Foster, and we have Mel Blanc as Sylvester and Tweety, and Bea Benaderet as Granny. And Granny is definitely one of my favourite underrated Warner Brothers characters. That's not to say she doesn't get love, but compared to Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck and even Sylvester and Tweety, she's maybe not as loved, but I really thoroughly enjoyed her. And Sylvester has discovered Tweety Bird in the window of a pet shop, and he obviously wants to get to Tweety, but Tweety is behind glass. There's nothing he can do. And then the next thing he knows, as he follows Tweety to its new home, Tweety has actually been bought by a sweet little woman who we know, of course, is Granny. Can Sylvester get past Granny and get to Tweety? It seems easy enough, until he realises she has a yard full of bulldogs. Now, I don't know how many dogs there were, but we're not talking 2 or 3. We are talking 10 or 20. I don't know if it's even possible to count how many there are, but there are so many of them. But Sylvester really wants Tweety, so he does anything he can, deploying all different kinds of tactics to try and get to Tweety Bird and overthrow the dogs. And some of the things he does I thought were particularly hilarious. I'm not going to go into too much detail about any of them because I don't want to spoil anything, but I will just say the cat head on a stick. I won't say any more than that, but I really enjoyed that. I thought visually it looked very effective. What happened afterwards I thought was kind of an eye-rolling moment of how dramatic it was, but also kind of believable. And it worked very well. I really enjoyed it. Tweety wasn't actually in it that much. Of course he was in it, but because Sylvester is trying to get past the dogs, we usually see Sylvester and the dogs rather than Tweety. So the barrier there is not Tweety overthrowing Sylvester, which is often the case. The dogs are more prominent here than Tweety, which is to be expected. I really enjoyed it. It's good fun. I liked how it was animated, especially with the 1,000,001 dogs. There are many of them. And I thought it definitely worked very well. And as a fan of Granny, of course, that aspect of it I really liked. So if you're a fan of Sylvester and Tweety and you haven't seen Ain't She Tweet, it's definitely one that I recommend.